Hello everyone, my name is Wade Welby, and today we're going to basically do a completely different thing. Not gaming, but chemistry. But I know that this possibly is extremely dangerous and it might make a mess. But since my mom is gone, oh, it's not going to go worse. So instead of just doing it here, which will probably be very dangerous because I'm only going to do this to make sure that this actually is true. And if it is, I gotta be careful with this. Now, first of all, do not ever try this at home because this is very illegal. Maybe, I'm not sure. And you don't know much about rockets like me because I know how to, um, I don't know how to build rockets, but I do know how rockets work. So this is just, I know what kerosene is. I know basically don't know much about the fuel comparison. So you got gunpowder, steam, and then of course there's some other ones like kerosene or liquid fuel, solid fuel, and all of these fuels that are used for rocket or for exploration purposes only. But what about those small rockets that you use? Possibly gunpowder or maybe, well, I honestly don't know. But today we're going to be trying to do something else. And if it says cold gas and alcohol, that also is a fuel. So can we actually demonstrate if alcohol or how does alcohol work to it? Now, before we get started, I will tell you anybody that is basically watching everybody, the government, I'm not doing this for any purposes for harming anybody. I'm only doing this for experiments only and possibly doing and teaching me of how to possibly I don't know, because obviously I'm usually just playing on a computer and I barely do anything outside, so I might as well just try something that I might. But the only thing that I know about it is today we're going to be possibly doing something that I never see on YouTube, but maybe because it is very dangerous that it might be illegal and it might be too extremely dangerous. But first of all, I'm going to do it as tiny as possible. And if it does create just a bunch of stuff, I'm not going to do it. Because if this is serious, I'm not going to do it because this might hurt. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to try to protect myself. And because this is toxic, such as acetone, is very toxic. So what would happen if you put um, um, acetone and um, uh, um, like alcohol, or I should say, anything like that. What happens if you put a bit of it? And I'm going to try to do two. And if it does create a reaction, I'm going to stop right there. I may do continue a little bit more. I'm doing this because I'm trying to let anybody know that is basically are from the government to tell them that I'm not doing any harm. I swear. I will definitely delete this video if this gets too serious. So this is only for my just experiment. I mean, why would I even tell you guys? It's kind of a bit ridiculous. I mean, yeah, but yeah, my mom looked it up, so yeah, I don't know if I should be doing it or if my mom should be here and watch me do it, but I'm not sure. But yes, but first of all, I don't think we have enough acetone, but it is possible to. We do have a little bit of acetone, which actually uses a bit of less acetone that there is, so that might help. So yeah, it's not like one of those big carts of acetone, but we do have a large amount of nitro. I think it's I don't know, but I forgot what it is. And I'm gonna try to see if I'm probably will do it right here, maybe. But if it gets to like an explosion, which it says on there might create explosion, I'm not sure if it's going to be big, which makes no sense because, well, what probably would make sense is because the acetone is cold. So I'm guessing that acetone and um, you got healthy stuff such as that gets rid of bacteria. That might be the cause of that, because both acids, I mean, they're not both acids, they're completely different. So um, that might be because, but if it seriously creates a large explosion, be very embarrassing, first of all, and would be very, very, very scary for me. Because, yeah, I mean, it's not for me to do this, but it might be stupid, and I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I'm scared. Um, but I probably need to use protection on my eyes just in case if it does explode because I don't want my eyes to burn, especially if it goes in my eye because you know how painful it is. So I do have some goggles, and I may need to use gloves. Of course, safety first. I'm not going to be like this. Safety first, and making sure that this is fine. If it doesn't do explosion, then I'll be okay because if I use a little bit of it, I can finally control it so it can be inside of an engine bell, which can be used. But I can't create an engine bell unless if I know what to use, which I don't know much about engine bells, but I should know about putting two separate tanks, small amounts of it. Example: liquid fuel, an oxidizer will basically fuel into a combustion chamber, can be used in the bell, and then can create thrusts or explosions. That's why you don't want to put those type together because if they leak to the to another tank, it will explode because that's reaction. But if you use a nozzle, that should be able to control it because we use this, basically all rockets do. Use an engine bell, except for ion engines. Ion engines uses they ionize the xenon gas and creates thrust. That's different. It uses electric charge to ionize the ions, and that one actually is actually safer, but it uses kind of a lot more power than usual. I'm telling you this what I know because I probably will know what I'm dealing with if this is possibly because it doesn't tell on the internet about this. So if it's that serious, because I had this idea, I did not look it up. I did not search it. I had an idea in my head, and because remember about the belly button thing. I remember I put um, um, the hydrogen peroxide onto my belly button to get rid of the pus. And acetone, I'm like, what happens if I do that? And my mom's like, I don't know. I mean, she looked it up and it said it would create an explosion. So is that true? Or is it actually possibly going to be worse than I expected? So since I'm in a neighborhood, I'm going to try to do as just the teeny bite as possible. And if I see reaction, what am I going to do? I can't just hide it. I mean, there has to be a way to experiment. But obviously, the only way I can do this is I have to be a chemist, and that will be okay because everybody will be fine. But yeah, don't possibly do this at home because you're not what you're dealing with. Because I love space, and space is very interesting. And I mean, obviously, why not? I mean, creating a probe and then launching it using those type of materials. But if it does explosion that does not react and do a safe explosion, false. You cannot use that fuel. That one's out of the charts. But it was just possibly a thing I was going to do. I mean, um, yeah, never mind.